What's going on, YouTube? Coach Chavi here, Jacob Chavarria, Elevated Growth. Wanted to show you around the garden today and show you the not so pretty side of gardening. I want to show you where I failed. So let's check it out. Overall, I've been pretty happy with these self-wicking beds, but obviously I did not do good with this zucchini. I think, yep, you can tell the bugs came in and got after it. Literally see all the roly-polies in there. So we'll get rid of this guy, put something else in, get out of here. Another fail, for whatever reason, is this tomatillo. I don't know if it's these two wicking beds. I'm not too sure. I mean, I have a couple on here, but for the size of this plant, I really expected to get more tomatillos. I have two of them next to each other. I'm debating letting it ride or cutting it out. Like, I don't know what I should do. What do you guys think? Should I cut this tomatillo out, put something else there? Maybe I can get another little batch of tomatoes in before the West Texas freeze. Raspberries, blackberries. I actually saved these plants on clearance, so I'm in these for about 15 cents each last year. I think it might just get too hot for these raspberries here. I might have to give up growing those and these blackberries. But I ordered a different type, not from the big box store, and this blackberry looks great. So failed on these berries, but maybe it was variety. We'll see how these do this year. So here's a tiger melon, and this plant actually looks pretty good. And this isn't the fail. The fail is I didn't support my previous melon, and I walked by and like accidentally hit it with my shoulder and knocked the melon off. So I need to put some supports on that melon, on these little guys, so they don't get knocked off. So I knocked that melon off. I didn't get my support up quick enough, so I need to go in here and start putting some supports on some of these melons so they don't fall off. Something that I don't necessarily think it's a fail, it's just something I have to deal with, is I guess because my bed has wood, the pill bugs in my bed are crazy. So I've tried a bunch of different things to kill them, mitigate them. It's really hard. So a lot of things I have to transplant out, and then I have to really patrol. Like, they love pumpkins and cucumbers and beans. So this little guy is a pumpkin, and I noticed that they were kind of beating up that stem. So I'm gonna go ahead and bury this whole stem as far as I can, so maybe I can get root development along it. And to counter them, I want to put some DE on there. So I was semi-aggressive on my pest management this year, but I really have to be more diligent about coming out here and putting DE on my seedlings. I think I had the same problem with pill bugs in one of my little flower pots over here. So I put some, this is kind of like a little 20-gallon flower bed I got going. And I had planted a bunch of new seeds out here about a week and a half ago. And look, you can see one right there. And I think these guys have been eating all my seedlings before I can get to them. So I think when I plant seedlings, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start to clear out the area, because I do have a lot of this alfalfa to feed, and they like to eat that. So it's a double-edged sword, because I need them to eat this stuff and help break it down to feed the soil, but also I don't want them eating my plants. So I think what I'll do is kind of more zone these things out, so whenever I plant something, I'm gonna leave it more open till I get my seedling. I'll put some DE on there to protect that seedling, and hopefully I'll get more of my plants up and going, because once they're up and running, they're good. But when they're in the very tiny seedling stage, like these guys back here, I need to come over here and put DE on those so they don't, get killed by the pill bugs. Another fail, figs. I had some fig cuttings, and I think I just overwatered them and basically drowned them and killed them. And they all became rotten sticks. Love figs, follow Phil's Figs, follow Ross Ratty and some other guys who grow figs. And man, these cuttings just did terrible. Well, some of the cuttings, about half of my cuttings did terrible. Some did grow. I gave some to friends and family, but I got some other figs growing over here. They've done great. So I'll take the lessons from these cuttings and use it next time. So here's one cutting that's actually done pretty well. This is a Celeste fig. It actually came from one of my figs and it's doing great over here. So I think what happened was I had these originally in full sun, and I think in these little pots they're just drying out and then getting really wet, and they just weren't doing well. But now I brought them over to my shade area, and I've been a little more consistent with the watering, really like checking them, not just watering them to water them, like actually checking the soil and putting my finger in here, doing the knuckle test to make sure that they need water, and that's really helped. So these figs underneath the shade through the summer, these over here, there's one here, the Celeste, look how good that leaf looks. Looks happy. There's another little, and then these other two little figs over here underneath this 40% or 50% shade cloth have done a lot better than my other ones. And I think this shade, and they actually probably get more sun over here than my other figs, really helped them and really like gave them a good consistent temperature. So again, these are some other figs that were in full sun and are out, not underneath the shade canopy. So these get morning sun and they get shaded out in the afternoon. But I think they get blasted and really get cooked. So if they're not fully established, like this guy is like more, you know, this LSU Gold is more established, and these two are more established. They've done well, but I think if I would have had them underneath that shade over there, they probably would have looked a lot more like the other ones, and probably would have gave me more production. So next year, and I have some figs on here, it's LSU Gold. I think next year I'm gonna put these somewhere where they do get a little more protection from our over 100 days pretty much all through summer. One more fail, my beans. Now, beautiful flowers on these. I don't know if it's a fail or like like one of those backwards, like fishing for compliments. These have done great. The problem is I have not stuck to harvesting as much as I should have. So I have beans that I just missed, and I think it kind of did hurt the plant. So I gotta come in here, harvest these guys more consistently. One more little fail, and I don't know if it would necessarily be a fail. It's just something I noticed through the year. Marigolds here kind of die out in the summertime. They just don't last as long as I would like. And I lost a lot of my flower row. So I have a pepper row, and I have flowers behind it. And it could be because these peppers ended up shading out those flowers. But that's something I really did want to work on this year, was having more flowers, and it kind of just didn't. I mean, I have some, and these amaranth and these zinnias look great. Got a lot of basil that I just let go to flower and to seed. But I wanted more flowers. I have a few here and there, but I really wanted this row to have a lot of flowers and be interplanted underneath these guys. So herbs and flowers, I really wanted more. I have a few, but I would have liked to have gotten a lot more. So next year, that's something I'll definitely work on the next season, is making sure I have plenty of flowers for all the pollinators, and coming out here and taking these guys off, deadheading them so they don't stop producing for me. They did okay. I had big sunflowers early in the season, and those came out, and when they were done, I just didn't have any right behind them. So that's the timing. Oh, look at this wasp. Ooh. Like, I had these Mexican sunflowers, I had other flowers going, and these are beautiful, but I wish I would have had more flowers. I've got some planted, and I just didn't do the timing and the rotation right, where, you know, I'd have some going and then get another set right behind it. All right, YouTube, so I took you around the garden to show you some of the places that I feel like I failed. But that's part of gardening. Like, that's the fun part, is learning, is almost being a scientist and figuring it out. What plants work in your climate, variety type. Timing, like what time of season are you growing these plants? Are you growing them in spring, fall, summer? Are you gonna need to adapt that type of plant to your area? So do I need to add shade? Do I need to add more mulch? Do I need to add a companion? Should I put it under a plant? Does it need full sun? There's all these little factors that go into each plant, and every season is different. So this year, something that did great for me might not do as good next year due to the weather. So just evaluating those things, and do something that I was really good at in the beginning of the year was writing these down. But now I have YouTube, I have you and this channel to be my journal. So that's another reason I started YouTube, was so all of this behind me could get documented, right? So now I'm documenting all my successes and fails. I'm able to go back and watch these videos and see what I was doing at that time, and really work through my garden and plan out for next year what I'm gonna do. So next year I'm really excited for what this can be. I think it could be really, really good, but you gotta learn, you gotta fail. That's part of the game. So subscribe, comment, let me know what you failed at, and then send me your biggest winner. Like, what was your biggest winner? What did you win with? All right, guys, talk to y'all later.